Hello everyone, a warm good morning to you all and welcome to EduTerrain for the regular current affairs questions MCQs discussion for the 19th April 2024. So as you all know, these are the latest current affairs that I have picked from the last 2 days or so. Hope my voice is audible. Again, I got a complaint that it's going down. I don't know, I have checked it again. I felt it's okay. If there is any issue, please let me know immediately so that I can correct it. So the regular current affairs 19th April 2024. Without wasting much time, let's start with today's questions. The first question is from the sports section. Rashmi Kumari. She has solidified her legacy in Indian carom history by clinching her what's the number of a national carom championship title very recently at the 51st National Carom Championships, which was organized by the state Madhya Pradesh State Carom Association. Okay, so she is one of those eminent personalities in the field of sports, especially in caroms, and she is employed as the chief manager at the Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, that is ONGC. So very recently in Madhya Pradesh, that is these 51st National Carom Championships were organized, and Rashmi Kumari has clinched her 12th National Carom Championship title, creating history. And in men's category, K. Srinivas has clinched his 4th national singles title by defeating S. Aditya. And in case of Rashmi Kumari, she has defeated her opponent K. Nagajyoti and created history in the caroms sports. Okay, moving on to our next question. Now, which cricket stadium will be the first BCCI accredited venue with a new hybrid pitch? See, when we talk about the regular pitch, it is completely natural, the grass that they use, but that takes lot of time in case of sudden change in the weather, or it gets wet or something. So that leads to a lot of pressure on the groundman staff also. So here, this particular turf hybrid pitch, here what happens is 95% it would be the natural grass only. 5% they will include the advanced reinforced turf system, where they use high performance polyethylene fibers inserted into this natural turf. So rather than 100% natural, it would be 95 plus 5%. So this is a hybrid pitch. Now very recently BCCI has accredited this, and this they are planning. First they are going to launch this in Himachal Pradesh Stadium, its Cricket Association Stadium. Later they are planning to launch this in various places where we have lots of cricket matches, like in Ahmedabad, Mumbai, etc. And this particular hybrid pitch is being installed by the Netherlands-based SIS Grass, a division of SIS Pitches Group. Otherwise generally वो 100% natural surfaces होते हैं, but this would be 95% natural grass with 5% of high performance polyethylene fibers. Very, very important. Earlier this particular association, this particular organization has installed such technology at the Lord's Stadium and the Oval Stadium as well, which are considered as one of the world's best stadiums. Okay, moving on to our next. The benefits of this is it ensures even bounce, reduces stress during play, and extends the pitch lifespan and alleviating the pressure on the ground staff as well. Moving on to our next question. Now this is from the report section. It can be used as part of your regular current affairs and also as part of your ESI or finance current affairs. Okay, we have FM for RBI. There this would be important. Now, the 9th edition of Financing for Sustainable Development Report 2024 was issued by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, that is UNDESA, which is again under the United Nations only. Under the Interagency Task Force on Financing for Development, it is one of those various agencies, they come together, they have formed a task force. Okay, so to understand how much finance is required from where, that has to be that we get for the developmental activities, especially in order to reach the sustainable development goals target by 2030 as scheduled. Now, the report identifies that a significant increase in the development financing gap has occurred, and for this approximately these many trillion US dollars of investments would be needed if we want to achieve the SDGs by 2030 as intended. Yes. So please don't forget to like this session and share this session with your friends as well, so that these would be helpful for their exam preparation as well. And please, again, my request is you all subscribe to the YouTube channel, that is Edutarians YouTube channel, as well as the Telegram's Edutarians app group, so that we can have healthy discussion over there with whatever doubts that you have. Okay, along with that, I keep on uploading lot of content there that would be really helpful for your upcoming regulatory bodies examinations, be it RBI or NABARD or SEBI or SIDBI in fact. Okay, here in this case, the gap that they felt that this much amount is required if we have to achieve the SDGs by 2030, and that is 4.2 trillion US dollars investment will be needed. Earlier, prior to COVID, it was only 2.5 trillion US dollars. बट नाउ आफ्टर विच अगेन जितना भी हमने डेवलपमेंट ना अच्छे से एक पेस लेके आए थे, दैट वेंट डाउन ओविंग टू द पैंडमिक सिचुएशन, बिकॉज एवरी द एंटायर कंट्रीज फोर्स was forced to work towards combating this COVID-19 पैंडमिक, बिकॉज ऑफ विच कई सारा वर्क जो अच्छे से भी हुआ था दैट ईदर उसी जगह पे रुक गया है और इट फैक्ट रिग्रेस्ड, बिल्कुल पीछे आ गया है, आई मीन उसका डेवलपमेंट नीचे आ गया है. सो फॉर विच नाउ इट सीम्स दैट 4.2 ट्रिलियन इन इन्वेस्टमेंट्स वुड बी रिक्वायर्ड. ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा फिगर. ओके, द थीम फॉर दिस एडिशन ऑफ रिपोर्ट इज फाइनेंसिंग फॉर डेवलपमेंट एट ए क्रॉस रोड्स. दिस इज द थीम फॉर दिस, important. And here this particular report is prepared jointly by the members of the Inter-Agency Task Force on Financing for Development, and this report highlights the critical issue of debt servicing cost for the least developed countries as well. And between 2023 and 25, these least developed countries are projected to face debt servicing cost totaling 40 billion US dollars, a significant increase of over 50% compared to 2022. Why? Again, one of the major reasons for this is the pandemic situation, because uski wajah se jitna bhi unka investment se, that all they diverted, rather than for developmental activities, they had diverted to combat this pandemic. And after that again जो डेवलपमेंटल एक्टिविटीज़ हॉल्ट हो गए थे या फॉर वेरियस रीजंस, दे स्टार्टेड अगेन बोरोइंग मोर, दैट इंक्रीज्ड देयर डेट सर्विसिंग कॉस्ट. अलॉन्ग विद दैट ये वॉर की वजह से थोड़ा सा मार्केट में भी बहुत डिस्टर्बेंस हुआ है, बिकॉज ऑफ विच again the cost went high. So many reasons are there, so that now has increased, totaling US dollars 40 billion, which is an increase over 50%. ओके, जो 2022 से कंपेयर किया जाए तो इट इज़ ओवर 40, एंड अर्लियर इट वाज 26 बिलियन इन 2022. नाउ इट इज़ 40 बिलियन US डॉलर्स. ये भी इंपॉर्टेंट फिगर है. विल डू दिस रिपोर्ट इन डिटेल्ड मैनर इन वन ऑफ आवर यूट्यूब सेशंस on YouTube itself, that is in the report section. Moving on to our next question. Now, what have scientists at the Indian Institute of Sciences developed to address the global issue of plastic pollution? Very recently, especially here we are focusing on microplastics. Now, what is microplastics? Anyone who wants to try? Yes? What is microplastics? See, microplastics are those plastic particles smaller than 5 mm, very small, मतलब वो दिखते भी नहीं हैं. And it has been observed that a person in at least एक credit card जितना वो जो microplastics होता है ना, that we ingest in a particular period, not lifespan, but very recently very shocking results have been released. So the major issue is we have to combat these microplastics, for which Indian Institute of Sciences, which is in Bengaluru, they have developed a sustainable hydrogel wherein what this unique polymer do is it binds the microplastics together along with that. जब microplastics सारे bind हो जाएंगे तो थोड़ा size बढ़ जाएगा, so it would be visible and also it would be easy for the जो भी degradation material है that can degrade these microplastics particle to work on that, क्योंकि surface area बढ़ जाता है. And along with that, this sustainable hydrogel will also, when exposed to UV light irradiation, it will degrade these microplastics. First bind करता है, it will bind, then it will degrade these microplastics when it is exposed to UV light irradiation. Okay, important. So this is the latest technology that they have developed, sustainable hydrogel. Okay, especially removing the microplastics from water. So जो filtering mechanism होता है, in that they can used. Unlike previous methods such as filtering membranes, which often face issue of clogging, because ये बहुत minute रहते हैं, they can even clog those minute pores that these filters poses. Again, बार बार वो filters change करना, that is not feasible. Sustainability तो कहीं से भी नहीं है. So for those filters जो जहाँ पे भी water filtering activity होती है, then definitely this would be a great boon. Say especially these are widespread microplastics in ocean, soil and even air, posing significant risk to the human health that can be avoided. Important again. Moving on to our next question. Very recently, wholesale price inflation, the details has been released, which has hit a 3-month high in March. See, Jan May it was close to 0.27, Feb May it was close to 0.23, but now थोड़ा सा decrease हुआ था, 23 और 20 के आसपास कुछ है. I don't exactly remember it now. It's on the same as ये decrease हुआ था. But now in March it has increased, actually even higher than the Jan one. So now you have to tell me what was the percentage increase in the headline wholesale price index based inflation compared to February. कितना increase हुआ है? Yes, 0.2% ही है ये Feb में. I was checking. So now why it has propelled this increase? Rise in food articles, electricity, crude petroleum, natural gases are the various factors that has increased this. Why? When we talk about this wholesale price index, it includes various commodities, the prices of various commodities, that is, or articles, including food articles, non-food articles like oil seeds, minerals, fuel and power, manufactured products, all these. Along with that, food index also they include as part of this wholesale price index based inflation. Yes, in this case it is 0.53% compared to 0.2% in Feb and 0.27% in Jan. And this marks the 5th consecutive month of positive inflation after a period of deflationary trends throughout the most of the financial year 2023-24. It was better, but after that, since last 5 months, that is since November, it has been on an increasing trend, and now it has stood together. This इस साल का altogether high है. Okay, drivers, as I've said, food particles, electricity, crude petroleum, natural gas, all the factors that are influencing this increase. Food inflation also, it has registered, though यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, it has registered at 3.2%, showing a decline from 6.4% in the previous financial year, but still it is high when compared to the this data. Now, wholesale price index क्या है? It tracks fluctuations in the prices of goods sold and exchanged in large quantities by wholesale prices to other businesses. Okay, मतलब raw materials उस पर ज़्यादा focus रहता है. That's the reason. Primary articles, as you can see here, fuel and power, as you can see here, manufactured goods, they all form part of this WPI index, even food index as well, where it consists of food articles from the primary articles group and food products from the and from the manufactured products group. All these, it forms part of this. Okay. Now, food index तो इसके पास आता है अलग से. It's not as part of this, but it is separately dealt with. Now, when we talk about this particular WPI index, it is released every month by the Office of Economic Advisor, which is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And it seems as a primary gauge of inflation in India, but majority of the scientists, economists, they are against this, saying that it may not accurately reflect the consumer experiences, because it is wholesale price index, that is the large quantities that are exchanged between the wholesale enterprises, and after that, by the time it reaches the consumer, lot of value is added to that increases its price, right? So because of which many of the economists say no, we can't use this as a primary gauge of inflation in India. Rather, the consumer price index, we can use it as a primary gauge of inflation in India, which actually does by the Monetary Policy Committee of the RBI. They look into that CPI. Okay, and the base year for the All India WPI, it is currently 2011-2012. From 2004-2005, they have changed it to 2011-12 in 2017 itself, and it is released on 14th of every month. That is, if 14th is a holiday, then they would release this on the next working day. And this is about, since we have come across a consumer price index, I have given you the details of consumer price index. In this case, it gauges the changes in the price from the perspective of the retail consumers. Okay, and it is published by the NSO, National Statistical Office. And when we talk about this CPI, it has various subgroups like food and beverages, fuel and light, housing, clothing, bedding, footwear. Unlike wholesale price where manufactured goods and all that are gauged, here they take care of what exactly the retail consumer uses as part of his daily life. So it is of 4 types: industrial worker CPI, agricultural laborer CPI, rural laborer, and CPI of combined altogether. Now, the first 3, as you can see here, these are compiled by the Labour Ministry, which is under the Ministry of Labour and Employment, while the 4th is compiled by the NSO under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, because all these the Labour Bureau will conduct, and from this they finally use all this data for a combined CPI that would be done by the NSO. That's the reason the release of this data is done by NSO itself. And here the base year for CPI is 2012, but very recently they have introduced a new series of CPI for industrial workers exclusively, not for all, with the base year of 2016. This also is very, very important. And Monetary Policy Committee, as I've said earlier, also the Reserve Bank of India has adopted CPI as the primary inflation measure. As I've said, WPI में सही से gauge नहीं होता है, because that is not what that reaches the consumer, final consumer. So in 2014, RBI has adopted CPI as a primary inflation measure. After this, here I have given you the differences between CPI and WPI. Whatever that we have discussed in the last 2 slides, the same thing, but pure differences, so that you can have all at one place. Moving on to our next question. March merchandise trade deficit has increased. What was the merchandise trade deficit in March 2022? It's simpler. हमारे exports कितने हो रहे हैं and imports कितने हो रहे हैं, the difference between them. Okay, yes, this PDF I'll upload because there's lot of information. See, here when we talk about the export and imports, exports also it has decreased, okay, and imports also it has seen a decline that resulted in this deficit. And the trade deficit for March 2024, it is for the actually deficit, it is $15.6 billion. As you can see here, exports and imports. Exports have experienced a slight decline. कितना है अभी? It is $41.68 billion. Okay, decreased by 3.11%. अगर whole fiscal year के लिए देखा जाए तो it is decreased by 3.11%, which stands for 437.06 billion. At the same time, imports have also decreased. It saw a decline of 5.98% to 57.28 billion, resulting in the trade deficit of 15.6 billion. That is this 57.28 minus 41.68. So it is 15.6. That is the deficit that we are experiencing. And if we look at the trade deficit, if we look at for the last fiscal year, it amounted to $240.17 billion. Okay, and these are the latest figures associated with the March mercantile trade deficit. Moving on to our next question. What was the theme for the World Chagas Disease Day observed by the World Health Organization on April 14th, 2024? Now, this would come from the latest important national and international days. Yes, anyone who wants to try? And before giving you the answer, I would like to request you all to please like this session and share this session with your friends as well. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as a Telegram group, so that we can have a healthy discussion there over Telegram. And not only that, I keep on uploading lots of content that would be helpful for your examination. Yes. Now, this Chagas disease, it causes fever, sometimes body aches, skin rashes, muscle pain, etc. And this is also referred to as American trypanosomiasis, which is a parasitic infection caused by a protozoan. Though it is caused by a protozoan, the transmitters, they are ticks or the triatomine bugs. And during night time, they keep on bugging. These bugs will keep on biting the human beings, leading to the infection. Now, the theme for this year is tackling Chagas disease, detect early and care for life. This is the theme for this disease. It's also called as American trypanosomiasis, caused by protozoan Trypanosoma cruzi. Important, all this. And is transmitted by the feces of the infected triatomine bugs, commonly known as kissing bugs. They typically bite humans on face at night, leading to the infection. So, proper hygiene maintenance and sanitation, these two can avoid this disease. Moving on to our next question. The first kind of, it's a trilateral summit meeting of US, Japan and Philippines has occurred very recently. Now, first time made in, so where was this inaugural trilateral summit among the US, Japan and the Philippines held? Where was it held? Now, this is associated with the international affairs. This is majorly to, show Japan and the Philippines that United States is committed to provide supporting to its allies. Japan and the Philippines both are facing issues with China. So this comes at the backdrop of the tension that is escalating between China and Japan and China and the Philippines. So this was conducted, and since the US has themselves invited them, this has happened in Washington DC, in US itself. Okay, so alliance commitment they wanted to show. And prior to this summit, the maritime forces of Philippines, Japan and US and Australia, they have conducted a joint maritime exercise named Maritime Cooperative Activity in the Philippines Exclusive Economic Zone. Exclusive maritime exercises, they're always done in oceans, that is seas, that is water. Naval forces, they do this, and they have both sea phase and harbor phase. Harbor phase, they do the drills and everything on the shore. Sea phase, they go on to the sea and do the activities, whatever the drills that they have to do. So very recently, a joint maritime exercise was also conducted between Philippines, Japan, US and Australia in the Philippines Exclusive Economic Zone. That is, this entire waters belongs to Philippines. Generally, it would be close to 2.2 lakh nautical miles of the sea or ocean that surrounds the countries. So they'll have an exclusive autonomy on these waters. Outside this, it would be your other countries, either high waters, that is nobody has a say on that, or it would be the international waters of other country. Okay, this exercise was also in response of Chinese harassment allegations by the Philippines that they have conducted to in case of any difficulty in future, if these countries they have to work together, they should have that amalgamation and easy working. So for that they have conducted this. Now Philippines dispute with China, they have dispute regarding to the second Thomas Shoal approximately 200 kilometers from Palawan, wherein they are fighting over the territorial disputes. Similarly, Japan also is facing the same. It involves incursions of Chinese ships into Japanese territorial waters since 2008. So both are facing issues, because of which this particular summit and this particular meet was conducted. Okay, moving on to our next question. The central government is planning to establish specialized testing laboratories for premium Kasturi cotton in 6 states as part of an effort to bolster the global recognition of Indian cotton. Now you have to tell me which of these following states are not a part of this. Yes, Kasturi cotton is the premium cotton or the branded cotton that comes from India. And it is predominantly cultivated in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Currently, the quality testing is being done by the National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories, that is NABL based laboratories. But still, there are 2 other types of cottons which are very predominantly capture a huge market share in the international market, and that includes the Giza cotton, okay, and the Supima cotton. Now we want to go against these 2, highlighting the premium quality of Kasturi cotton, which is completely a Indian brand. So, but for which we have to also be at par with the international, that is various countries, when it comes to the testing laboratories, so that we can have that high quality testing as well as the certification, for which government is planning to launch 6 such laboratories, so that the testing can be done in a much better way. Okay, and those 6 states include Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Punjab, Gujarat and Karnataka. So here Andhra Pradesh is not as part of that, though majority of this Kasturi cotton is grown in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu only. Okay. So now these labs will collaborate closely with the Bureau of Indian Standards testing facilities to ensure compliance with the national quality benchmarks. And also here, to uphold the superior quality of Kasturi cotton, international, the standards that we are focusing to adhere is maximum 2% limit on the trash content. See, when we talk about cotton, sometimes while picking the cotton, there is a chance that the dried leaves, twigs, they all get attached to these cotton fibers. So one has to be very careful. The more the trash content in the cotton, the lower the quality would be. So here they want to limit that trash content to a maximum of 2% limit, and ensuring 100% traceability from where this cotton is being sourced. Okay, and here we want to compete with renowned cotton varieties like Supima and Giza cotton. Giza cotton kya hai? It is a high quality cotton that is grown in the Nile River Valley in Egypt. It is known for its extra long and fine fibers, resulting in smooth and luxurious texture, and it is often used in high-end clothing because of its superior quality. Now coming to Supima cotton, it again is a premium cotton that is grown exclusively in the US, and it is made from extra long staple fibers of Pima cotton plants, which are known for their strength, softness and durability. Again, it is often used in luxury clothing and linens because of its superior quality as well as durability. Okay, now Indian cotton is also very good when it comes to the varieties that we have released very recently. They have good amount of extra, long fibers and the durability, etc. Everything is good, but the problem is marketing and showcasing, creating an awareness about the Indian cotton. So that is what now we are going to do with the help of these 6 testing centers. Okay, moving on to our last question for today. The government is targeting a production of how much of coal from the captive and commercial coal blocks for the upcoming fiscal year, that is for 2024-25. Why we want to increase our production? Because we still, though we have good amount of coal mines here, but still we are importing from outside, coal from outside. So in order to reduce our dependence on these imports, we have to increase our production, wherein we are targeting a production of 170 million tons for the upcoming year 2024-25. And representative from 74 coal mines, they have all come together as part of a meeting with Mr. Nagaraju, who is additional secretary of coal, and then they have discussed about government targeting production of 170 million tons of coal and how that can be taken forward. And as per the data compiled during the April-Feb month of fiscal, that is financial year 2024, 23-24, the country's coal imports increased to 244.27 million tons from 227.93 million tons when we compare that to the corresponding previous year. So this has prompted us to increase our production of coal. Yes, this is all from my end. Thank you very much for being with me so patiently. Yes, now the forum is open for your queries, questions, any suggestions. So no questions? No problem. Thank you very much once again. And one more important point here, it's not the total coal that we are targeting, that is close to 1 billion tons, but here this is exclusively from the captive and commercial coal blocks only. Okay, not including the government associated coal blocks. That was, I was getting confused. See, target बहुत कम लग रहा है. This is exclusively from the captive and commercial coal blocks only. Okay, please be very, very careful with the data that has been presented. Okay, thank you very much once again. Yes, have a great day ahead. Please take good care of yourself. See you all in the evening at 4 p.m. on YouTube again with yet another interesting report, which is important for all the upcoming regulatory bodies examinations. Take care. Bye-bye.